Hi everyone, in this video, you're going to learn what is DevOps. My name's Teddy, and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid IT pro fast. Let's get started. As information technology becomes more and more essential to every single aspect of the world around us, there are even more job opportunities for people who have an in-depth knowledge of how it all fits together. DevOps is one such example of a new level of technical expertise that's been growing in popularity. But what is DevOps? It's actually pretty simple once you break it down into smaller parts. First, you have development. This refers to writing code for applications, otherwise known as software development. Next up is operations, or server administration and support tasks. Finally, we come to systems engineering. This entails everything from designing databases and networks to dealing with physical security infrastructure like firewalls and locks on doors. Systems engineering is where DevOps comes into play. DevOps is the perfect solution for organizations that are seeking a high degree of IT automation. This is especially true when it comes to software development and application creation, as well as system administration and management tasks. What this means is that there will be less human effort required for these processes and more automated systems put in place so that everything runs like clockwork without needing any human input at all, except when something goes wrong or needs updating. DevOps specialists are highly skilled individuals who understand the inner workings of complex systems such as the ones used by businesses today. With their vast amount of digital information being transmitted from one place to another, either electronically or on hard copies through physical mail delivery services. This also includes the use of data centers and other facilities that are used to house all the different computer equipment involved in running a business as well as its employees. What is DevOps? In order to understand what DevOps really means, it's important to first take a look at where it came from. The term itself wasn't used until just before 2010 and was created out of the combination of two different concepts, development and operations. These were both methods for handling computer tasks that had been around since the beginning of information technology. Development was about designing, creating, or updating software that would then be passed along to operations people who handled all the technical manual labor necessary in getting large programs up and running on servers. Systems engineering fits somewhere in between development and operations by using scientific methodologies to come up with potential solutions to issues that might arise within the systems. This is what DevOps represents today, the unified combination of development, operations, and engineering methods into a single approach to handling all IT issues as they occur. It's essentially applying scientific methodologies used in operations and systems engineering to the task of software development, which was originally only handled by developers before the idea of DevOps came along. The importance of DevOps to an organization. DevOps is important for organizations that have already established themselves as large entities. DevOps can assist with everything from helping to keep the software and operating systems up to date, enforcing security protocols, providing strong backups in case something goes wrong on a system, as well as keeping track of all the inventory management for physical goods and assets. It's also very helpful when it comes to data backup and recovery, which is especially essential in today's digital world where so much information is stored electronically instead of on paper. Employees using computers at work are also more likely to be served faster because of automated systems used by DevOps specialists. Why there's a need for DevOps specialists? The need for DevOps specialists can be easily explained by taking a closer look at the way businesses are run these days. Information technology is key to their success, and IT departments with a large number of employees have been around since the start of business operations in the 1950s. Businesses used to handle most manual labor tasks with human employees before there was any automation put in place. But as technology evolved and advanced over time, so did everything else within an organization, from how it was managed to how work was done on a day-to-day basis. This included things like billing, record keeping, and even customer service. which became more automated than ever with the use of telephone answering systems and digital call centers where operators had no face-to-face contact with customers. Businesses had to keep up with the times and technology just like everyone else or fall behind, which they did at their own risk. The evolution of DevOps. To understand how DevOps came into being, it's important to remember that while information technology started out as a separate entity from other business operations like sales and procurement, it soon became something much more useful and critical for organizations in order to remain competitive. The role of IT departments slowly changed right along with everything else, moving away from simply overseeing day-to-day technical operations and developing new systems toward being an integral part of all these processes themselves. The convergence of DevOps. Now, we're seeing another evolution in what it means to run a business, which is trying to balance the needs of all different types of employees, and not just those who work within the company itself. This type of change has been ongoing since the late 1900s when telecommuting came into being and independent contractors became much more common as well. The changing workforce brought about this shift away from centralized companies and toward getting jobs done through outsourcing. In addition to all these things, consumers have been making their voices heard through social media, voicing their opinions on products or services that were subpar in quality or falling short compared to competitors. Of course, all of this comes with its own challenges, not just because it's hard to manage these different types of workers who are under contract and usually working remotely, but also managing the technology that connects them with others involved in getting a job done. In order to keep up with the times, organizations must learn how to become more agile in the way they manage their businesses. This is where DevOps specialists come into play, and not as something that's separate from other IT departments, but actually working alongside them. They are tasked not only with making sure everyone involved has secure connections with one another and those outside of an organization who are hired, but also automating processes so they can work faster. Plus, DevOps specialists help ensure that everything is logged in detailed records for future reference should there be any issues later down the road when trying to diagnose problems that could have been avoided or at least handled more easily if there was proper documentation beforehand. How DevOps works. In order for DevOps to work, it involves a lot of different elements. There needs to be collaboration between business leaders and IT personnel in charge of updating software or managing the data that users within an organization are accessing. Working together will help ensure that everything is done efficiently and without unnecessary delays, keeping budgets in mind along with deadlines and hours worked at the same time. Current DevOps limitations. Although DevOps has risen to become a very popular practice in recent years, it's still far from being perfect. The biggest drawback of this type of business management is that businesses will only see overall improvement once everyone involved agrees on the same things and works towards consensus so that there are no delays or miscommunications before anything else can be done. There also needs to be a lot more research and study put into how DevOps works in order to find out whether or not enterprises should invest in it at all, especially since many organizations lack adequate funding for their IT departments as it stands right now. The future for DevOps? As DevOps continues to evolve, we'll likely see more and more companies using remote workers or outsourcing their labor as well. This will mean an increase in the need for having everything automated, from ordering new software to implementing updates on existing systems and applications. However, there will always be a need for individuals who understand code, programmers, as well as those who can get things done without needing code-level skills, which is why it's important that DevOps specialists are also good communicators. Regardless, changes are happening faster than most organizations can keep up with, so sharing knowledge and collaborating between different parts of a business are critical if you want to remain competitive. How to find a job in DevOps. If you're interested in learning more about a career path in DevOps or looking for a job with an organization that uses it, then there are some steps you should take. The first is to make sure your resume includes what kind of experience you have and any other information related to the roles you've previously held. Look specifically for IT positions where you can see that they use DevOps methods or technologies, and be sure to highlight those specific roles in your resume so they stand out among all others. You'll also want to pay close attention to skills on your resume, not just technical proficiencies, but also ones related to communications and project management. With the right information, you'll be able to make a great first impression that gets your foot in the door with a company that's already using DevOps and needs help making it better, or tweaking what they're doing so we can have results sooner or go more smoothly. DevOps is an extremely useful tool to have if you're a business owner or want to work for one. When used correctly, it can save time and money while also helping ensure that things get done properly without delays or glitches that could make the company look bad in front of other businesses using similar software. It's important to stay current with DevOps trends as they continue to evolve so that you can be ready when any new opportunities come your way. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career.